Hey everyone, Saksham here, and welcome to this amazing cybersecurity bootcamp that you have been attending so far. And today we are going to talk about SQL injection, one of the most common vulnerability, yet it's very disastrous actually. So in this section, we are just going to learn about the SQL injection. And today, first of all, we are going to learn that how you can just set up your SQL injection lab. And then we have a very specialized lab for you in order to get started with the SQL injection. So I hope you're enjoying the classes so far. And I would like to suggest you to, set up this new lab for this SQL injection because, long back, I have created this new lab of SQL injection, of which I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough. So let me get started with this. Okay, so here, first of all, you need to visit google.com. Here, you just need to write here as Saksham GitHub. I hope my audio and video is coming all fine. Just give me a quick response. I hope my audio and video is coming all fine. Just give me a quick response. Okay. Seems like somebody has disabled the chat. I'm going to enable them once again. So give me a second. Are chats enabled now? Okay, so okay, this is even a good thing. You can just raise your questions in question and answer box. Okay, sorry. So you can raise your questions in question and answer box. Let's just keep it disabled. Let's just keep our chat disabled so that I can answer everyone individually in a better way. So seems like my audio and video is coming fine. Just give me a quick response. All right. So let's proceed further with it. So first of all, if we talk about what actually the SQL is, then it is an structured query language in which we interact with database with the help of SQL. So basically, SQL is a database, and if we talk about the structured query language, then you must have seen Excel in your lives. You have rows and the columns in your Excel as well. Exactly like that, SQL is also designed to store your database in which there are rows and columns. And by the help of rows and columns, we give the address of those rows and columns. And likewise, we store the database, which means the values or the input that are given by the users, exactly like we do into the Excel sheet. Right. So in this, we have the database like SQL, in which the PHP, PHP is a programming language which is used to interact with the front end and to your back end. And into the back end, you use SQL, and into the front end, you can use a lot of front end technologies like HTML, CSS, and a lot of different frameworks of JavaScript. So likewise, I have designed my own lab in which we are going to talk about the SQL injection today. And I've designed this lab like quite back. So which is why we are going to, get started with the, with this SQL lab. So first of all, this is the lab that you need to find. You just need to go onto the github.com/Saksham Chaudhary. That's the URL for my GitHub. And here you need to go ahead and proceed with this SQL lab, in which the SQL is written here, in which, this is one of the most advanced lab that you will be witnessing here, because, in this lab, I have created a lot of different things in here. For example, I have, integrated the cookie injection, which is also there into the SQL. And then you have this time delay in here, and then you have Boolean injection, then you have header injection, and then you have the most common one as the union based injection. So I would recommend you to solve all of them. I would be showing you to solve some of them live in here, and I'll also be teaching you that how you can set up this lab with the SQL. Now there is a one flaw in this lab, that I have designed this lab like 5 years ago. Like, I'm into this information security domain from quite a long time now, so which is why I've designed this, and I am right now constructing a new lab, which will be out soon. But I guess it will take around a month for me to develop, in which I'm developing a lab where you can just go ahead with the SQL injection, and with a lot of different attacks of related to web attacks, like, file upload vulnerability, FLI, and all of these things are going to come up with a new lab that I'm trying to develop. But right now we are going to move ahead with this older one lab. It's old, but I accept this fact that it is old, but it is still the best out there. So let's go ahead and get started with the prerequisites in order to install this lab. So in order to install this lab, you need to find the XAMPP X 5.x version. So for example, you just need to go ahead onto the XAMPP 5.x download, and then you gotta have to install the 5.x version of XAMPP. Make sure you check your control panel. If you already have XAMPP installed into the latest version, make sure you uninstall it. So I'm going to uninstall it. Let's see if I already have XAMPP in here, though I must be having the older version for the demonstration purpose. Seems like I don't have any XAMPP software installed already. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to find the 5.x version on sourceforge.net. You can find a lot of different other sources as well. For example, here it is. Okay, it showed us the 5.x version, but make sure you don't, go ahead and, go down into this pitfall. For example, this is 7.4.29. We are looking for 5.x version. And don't worry, the 32-bit version is also going to work. But I believe the extension of this is not appropriate. So it will take quite a while to, get started with the XAMPP version of 5.x to download it again. I guess it is coming up with the extension of 7z, which is not what we really want. I'm going to go with the installer directly. So I'm going to go ahead and hunt for this file, that is XAMPP. Okay, I'm going to give this, I'm going to add this into the resource. It's the high time that I start making the notes of it. So I'm going to save it over my desktop. This is going to be my installer. Side by side, I'm also going to write down the notes for today's class. So here I'm going to go for the link for downloading XAMPP. So here is the link for downloading XAMPP files. Okay. And the next up, let's wait for a few seconds until the time it will get downloaded, which is somewhere taking quite a long, in order to download this. I believe there must be some problem with this mirror. Let's go ahead and directly go on to the apachefriends.org. Let's find some few more resources. I thought it's easy to download it from sourceforge.net, but I have no idea why it is taking quite a longer time in order to, download this. But let's go ahead and, download it from the official website of XAMPP. Seems like I cannot again find the version. XAMPP 5.x. Okay, it is showing me a very different search in here. Okay, seems like these links are down for a moment. Otherwise, 100 MB would not take much time to get downloaded. It must have been taking around like 2 minutes approx. But anyways, let's go ahead and try for some other version where we can get a good speed. Not looking for a portable version again. Let's see if this is going to take less time. Let's go ahead and pause this. Till the time I would, do we need to install XAMPP in Windows or Linux? You can install this into your Windows or Linux. It is not going to be a big thing over there, but you're going to have to install it anyhow into your Linux or Windows, doesn't matter, because the lab is going to work in both of them. So let me go ahead and pause this and let's see. Seems like it is again take quite a while in order to download the XAMPP. I guess let's see if I already have this file downloaded into my download section. So let me go ahead and check out my download section. Okay, so XAMPP, this is the 7th version, I believe. Here we go. Finally, I have found it into my download list so that we can save our time. We can just cross it down. But this is the way in order to get started with the, configuring your lab. I'm going to paste my XAMPP in here. So here you go. So let me just go ahead and install this XAMPP. Installing XAMPP is quite easy again. You just have to double click onto the installer, and then it is produced by Bitnami. One of the reason why I'm a big fan of XAMPP is because XAMPP keeps the cross-platform approach, because an activated user account on some, missing the right permission. Okay, that's okay. Okay, so I was telling you guys that how I love XAMPP, because XAMPP usually keeps the cross-platform approach, where you have other clients as well, like you have WAMP as well, you have MAMP as well, and you have LAMP as well. So these three things are there. For the Windows, you have WAMP, that is WAMPP, and where the in WAMP, W stands for Windows. For Macintosh, you have MAMP, where the M stands for Macintosh, MAMP. And then for the Linux, you have LAMP. So basically, if you will install the Linux version of XAMPP, then it will be downloaded as the version of LAMP, you can say. So you don't need to get confused. XAMPP is same, but the LAMP version is going to come up into your Linux machines. So you can install it anyway. You can install it anywhere. So till the time it's unpacking its file, let's wait for a few seconds. And till the time, we can just go ahead and download our lab that was there onto the GitHub. And also one more thing, I just gotta have to pause all the downloads that I have just now created. So let me go ahead and pause them, since I've already got the installer into my machine. Okay, so the next thing that I need to do is that I need to extract and make the git code out here. So I'm going to download the zip in here, and my zip will get started downloading in here. So let me go ahead and create this SQL master1.zip. So the wonderful thing in this lab is that you don't need to create a new database. You don't need to, make a new user in here. And the reason is that I have, built a button that says drop a database, and the user, which will, create a new database, and it will automatically link the user to it. So make sure you just you don't need to do any of the big hustles that you were doing into the DBWA. And today's session is going to be a little lengthier one, because SQL is a very detailed topic out there. So we are going to get started with the SQL in some time from now. So till the time it completes its installation, I believe we should do a quick quick introduction about what SQL is. So for the people who are beginners, they can get an idea out of it. And for the people who are already aware about SQL database, they can also get a quick refresher. because we're gonna have to use a lot of different functions with the SQL, because we want to do this manually. When I cracked the bug bounty at Facebook, I was searching for the SQL injection for quite a long month, and nothing was helping me out. Even the SQL injection automated tools were not even helping me out, which is the reason why I ask you, why I recommend you to try everything out there manually, which is really a good thing. Because in that page of Facebook, it was something like, when I was hitting the single quote, it was not at all responding, which made me to think about it. But then there are different kind of SQL injections, but before we get to know about the different type of SQL injections, first of all, we are going to get started, and we are going to take a quick refresher about SQL. So let's go ahead and make a notes out of it. So first of all, we all know that uh, SQL is standing for structured query language. So basically, there is a structure, like I told you, like you have it for your Excel file. Exactly like that, you have a schematic structure there, and that is there into your database, in which you find a query. You do a query like, get me the data from that column, or maybe that row. You give a complete address to that query, like we have given earlier. Like, we have created a database few days back, while we were configuring DVWA. Exactly like that, you have this structured query language that is named as SQL. And then you have a few functions of SQL, like you have a select function. For example, what select is doing, if you want to select something, or if we want to retrieve the data from the database, then you can say that the select function is out there. So for example, I can simply write that we can use our select to select something, or you can say to retrieve retrieve the data from database. So we use these different functions in order to get the queries, in order to get the calls, and these things like this. So which is why I'm giving you a quick refresher. For Mac also, I believe if you're using Mac, then it's better that you install the LAMP into your Kali Linux, or you can use the MAMP as well. So I believe, yeah, for one more thing, why I love XAMPP more, because XAMPP keeps the cross-platform approach. So even if you have Macintosh operating system, then I believe then still it should work. You can again go ahead and download the 5.x version for Mac of XAMPP, you can say. Okay, so select is used to select something, or to retrieve the data from database. And these are not bookish language. I'm just giving you a quick refresher of SQL, so that you can really understand that what is happening out there when I'm writing such big queries in order to extract something from the database. And the beauty of SQL injection is that you can practically retrieve the whole database of the websites. For example, I've also find out, and I have also the POCs for the Indigo. We have also found it for State Bank of India. We have done it for we have done these things into the past, in which the whole database was retrieved, but they have fixed it. We have responsibly reported them about these things, because we were finding a lot of these bugs into the past times. But right now, this is what I tell you, that bugs are always going to be there, because companies are more concerned about the production and the selling part, but they are not at all concerned about the security part, which keeps them in a blindfold, which means that there are high chances that you'll be able to find a lot of these bugs that I've been teaching you from quite a from a long month now. So go ahead and find the new tigers, or just go ahead and pray for the fresh tigers in order to find the bugs. That's how you do the hunting part, basically. So you have this insert function as well, which inserts the value into the database. It inserts the value to database. And then next up, you have this update function as well in SQL, which is used to modify the data or the data, or you can say it can also update the existing value as well. So I can write here as it is used to update the existing value, right? And then next up you have is delete. So the name's just what it is actually doing there. Basically it is deleting the value. And then next up you have is order by. So order by is one of the most important one. Basically it is used for sorting the columns. You have the rows in there, you have the columns in there. So basically order by is used for sorting the columns. This is one of the most important one. You're gonna have to remember this. So it is used for sorting the columns, right? And next up you have schema, schema it is. And then schema is basically used schema is derived from a Latin word, I believe, that was schematic. So basically schematic, the meaning of schematic is the structure of something. So into the something, you have this database in here. Since we are talking about SQL, we are not going into the Latin stories right now. So we are going to go with the schematic. Okay, C, I always forget the C in here. So I can say that schematic, it is derived from a word schematic, that means the structure, or in the context of SQL, you can say it is called as the structure of database, right? Okay, so I'll be taking the doubts when we'll be taking a quick break at 4:15, you can say. So it is going to be a half an hour class, I guess 45 minutes of class now. So make sure you keep a good concentration over here, and make sure you keep a bottle of water near you. And you just keep a good concentration in here, because it is going to be a little bit of lengthier task in order to go ahead and explore the whole SQL injection in a single class. Okay, so schema is used for this, and then you have this single quote as well. So basically single quote is the SQL value, or it can be also used as a commands which we want to check in with the database, that if we want to penetrate something into the database, like, hey database, is this existing, or like, hey, is this the SQL related command that so this is for the testing purpose into the SQL injection. Like we can also use the forward slash as well, but we usually use the single quote because that is much more feasible and smaller one into the screen out there. So I'm gonna write here as the SQL value. Okay, so we can also use to go ahead and fire some commands, and by which we want to check in something with you can say database, and database it is. And then the next up you have the question mark. We all know that not just in SQL, if you want to do any kind of query anywhere, then we use the question mark in here, right? So this was a quick refresher of SQL, and then you have the different IDs as well in SQL, and the different things are out there. But what we are going to do is that we are going to check them out while we'll be solving our lab, which will be easier for you. So let's go ahead and do a quick setup of our lab. So I believe my XAMPP must have been installed by now. Yes, it seems like it is installed. Do you want to start the control panel? Yes, I would like to start the control panel in here. So I'm gonna go with this. Okay, so I guess it was the detection of language. So I'm going to start my Apache services. I'm going to start my SQL services. I'm going to start, okay, all of these things are not going to be of any use. And directly I'm going to go on to the Explorer. So likewise, you had this www directory into your Linux. Exactly like that, you have these kind of directories when you install these things into your Linux operating systems as well. So for that, you have the dedicated folder, which you can go ahead and find by clicking on Explorer in here. So right now you have this into the folder where your XAMPP is practically installed. Now, for example, this is installed into this PC, Windows, and then you have this into the C drive. You have this folder named as XAMPP, right? So inside the XAMPP, you have this folder named as htdocs. You need to find a folder here which says htdocs, right? Inside the htdocs, you will see a lot of files related to XAMPP is here. You have this index.php, which must be displayed while we'll be opening our localhost. So let's see what do we have in here. Okay, so we have our 127.0.0.1. Let's see. Yes, we are getting the up web page. Basically the web page which we were previously getting into the Linux. We are getting the exact same thing in here. Okay, so which means our SQL services are running up, our Apache services are running up, and everything is going up really smooth in there. And after this, what we need to do is that first of all, okay, seems like these services are running up. So now the next step, we are going to drop our SQL master lab in here, right? Okay, so I'm going to drop my SQL master lab into the exact folder in here. Okay, so you have here in our SQL master one.zip. All right, so now I'm going to minimize it, and now I'm going to drop this SQL zip file in here. So I'm going to paste it right here, and I'm going to extract it right here. Okay, seems like my SQL hyphen master file is here. So now it must read, you can also see that you have this Boolean injection, cookie injection, header injection, start, time delay, union based. You have the different challenges in here. And you'll be happy to see that 5 years back, I've created such a beautiful interface of this website. You can say the testing lab for Linux, that you'll be mesmerized looking at this. So I'm pretty sure about this. All right, so what we are going to do here is that we are, first of all, we are right now here into the local host, that is 127.0.0.1. Now, the name of our folder is SQL-master. So I'm going to write the exact thing in here, that is SQL-master. I'm going to click enter, and then you'll see a lot of different directories in here, in which one of the best directory, the suitable directory into the starting phase is, this start directory. So make sure when you open this lab for the very first time, make sure you click on start button. Now, when you click on start button, you click on start learning, and it will eventually drop a database within fraction of time, very quickly, very swiftly. And the name of the name of this database is master, you can say, right? So, this master database will be right here, which means our SQL injection lab is all ready to get started with this. So, I hope you must not be having any problems in there. Okay, so now you have a lot of different things right there. Like, you have been witnessing that quite a lot. So, I wasn't able to put the parameter directly, and you have this crazy owl, moving right or left and prompting you again and again about this union-based SQL injection master lab that is being used into this master course. Okay, so now the first instruction that I have given you while doing the development was, please input the question mark ID equals to parameter and then the numeric value, right? So what I'm going to do in this case is that please input, okay, so this is what I'm going to follow. That first of all, I'm going to go with question mark, and I'm going to go with ID. And seems like it is giving me the auto suggestion, because here I have been solving this lab quite a lot of times while teaching a lot of students out there. Okay, so question mark ID equals to parameter. Like you can give any parameter out there. When you'll go ahead and find a lot of pages that are related to SQL, then you'll definitely find something ending up into their URL saying that ID equals to 1, 2, 3, 4. You have this different IDs into the URL. So when I write here question mark ID equals to 1, you can see your login name is Saksham or your password is Chaudhary. So this must be the username and the password that I have displayed. So basically what I've done, I've displayed a data that was already stored into the ID number 1. So when I write here as the ID number 1, so now that data is now fetched into your web page exactly in front of your people right now, right? So this is what happens. So what if I write here as ID number 2? So now into the ID number 2, you see the name coming up as the Salman and the password coming up as the Khan. And then what if I go ahead and try for the 3, ID number 3 without the single quote, definitely. Then you can find the Angelina Jolie. I really wanted her to go with Brad Pitt actually, but it didn't happen. But anyways, let's go ahead and find the other user. I wanted this 5 years back. That's why I was putting Brad Pitt in here. So the ID number 4 displays the Brad Pitt. So these are the different values that I've stored in there. When I go with 5, then you can see that nothing is happening out there, which means I've not stored any value in ID number 5, right? So as simple as that. So I've given you a quick demonstration on how your web page is getting interacted with the SQL database, or you can say the SQL database, which is coming of which the output is coming up in front of your screens, you can say. And now we are going to play around these IDs, right? So you're gonna choose any one of the ID, and then you're gonna extract you're gonna extract the whole database out there. So we're gonna go. I hope the concept of how you're getting the data from the rows and the column is clear to you all. Just give me a quick response. I hope now it must be making you a lot of sense that how these kind of things are getting fetched in front of your screens. Okay, seems like we have all the people are. Can you provide? Isn't this IDOR? No, this is not at all IDOR. So do we also have to download XAMPP 5.x? If yes, then from where we can get it? Into the starting of this session, I've given you a walkthrough, and I've also preserved the link for you, which you can find into the resource section. That this is the link for downloading the XAMPP. So you can go ahead and download this. I'll make sure that I'll be uploading these kind of resources into the resource section. Okay, so that's okay. If you want to, I'm not hindering Linux, because one of the reason why I'm not showing this demonstration on Linux, because already you have 9.x or like 7.x version over there, and you have your DVWA lab over there. Then you'll face a lot of problems related to port. You'll see you'll have to change the ports again and again, because you have already the inbuilt services of Linux running up over there. And then you'll be installing other local hosts as well. Then you will have to give the different port number as well, which will create a little bit of hindrance to you all, which is why I'm showing the demonstration on my Windows machine. So make sure you just install this XAMPP 5.x on your Windows machine, or maybe on your Macintosh operating system. XAMPP is going to remain same for both of them. All right, so let's proceed further from here, right? Okay, so make sure you check out the steps. You don't need to worry about anything at all. I'm going to write down all the steps. So Brad Pitt is one of the most favorite actor of mine. So which is why I'm going to do the penetration testing onto the ID number 4, right? Okay, so first of all, you just need to see that step 1. So let's get started with the different steps. Today we will try that. We will try to complete this union-based SQL injection, and also we'll be trying that how you can just complete the Boolean-based SQL injection as well. So we are going to try to complete both of these SQL injection challenges. Step 1: hunt for vulnerable link. Right. So in order to hunt for vulnerable link, how you can find a vulnerable link? So first of all, you are going to create a URL that doesn't even exist. For example, I'm going to use a special character that is single quote in this case. So I'm going to go with single quote. I'm going to hit enter in here. Now you have this error, a very beautiful error, you can say, that says you have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to your MariaDB server. Now, I repeat, MariaDB server. And then the version for the right syntax to use near 4, limit 0, 1 at line number 1, right? So now, when I hit this single quote, which means my SQL is trying to interact with me over my web page, which could be a really big problem for anyone out there. Because if your SQL, because if I put the single quote in here, then basically your web page should respond like this page does not exist, right? Because basically this page is not existing out there into your records. But again, it is not giving me that error. Apart from that, it is also giving me an error that you have this SQL syntax error in there. If I check out some of the Google Docs by using some of the Google Docs, like for example, you have this Google Doc for in URL. I don't believe that Google Docs helps you in hacking. Basically, Google Docs were made in order to find something in a very quicker way onto the Google. So which is why the Google Docs were introduced. So Google hacking is like nothing. I believe that that's a blunder by the community. But anyways, so if you want to find something in URL, if you want to find something in URL, you just need to use this keyword in URL, right? For example, I've been using this word for bug bounty as well, because a lot of websites have been introducing their bug bounty platforms without getting listed on HackerOne or maybe Bugcrowd. So this is also one of the trick that I use. So sometimes I write in URL and then the bug bounty. If they have the open bug bounty program for their platform, then I go ahead and try hunting for them. Okay, so in URL, you have to write, let's say, for example, a question mark ID is what I have taught you into the parameter a few minutes back. You don't need to write question mark because we are not doing any kind of query. In URL 1, and then you can give any extension out there regardless of any country or anything like that, or you can go ahead with the .com thing as well. So you'll find a lot of pages into the Google as well. So you have a lot of these pages. So I'm going to open few of them just for a quick check that how many of these pages are getting the SQL syntax error into the response. Now, imagine I've written here as ID equals to 1. You can also write here as ID equals to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 20, 30, 40, as much as you want. And you'll find a lot of IDs over there. You have one of this page that says Barclays cycling. I hit single quote. You see the same error in here. You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to MySQL server and these kind of server, right? Okay, so I'm pretty sure if this error is coming up here, which means this website is vulnerable from SQL injection. You have more of these websites. Now this websites look quite the older one as per looking at the interface of the website situated in Kazakhstan. Let's go ahead and try for the single quote in here as well. Okay, seems like how is it responding? Again, responding like this when I hit the single quote, but when I remove the single quote, okay. So now there is one thing. There is second thing that you also need to observe, because there are different kind of SQL injections. This isn't necessary that you're just going to find the union-based SQL injections all the time, because if we check out in this version, we have been using and we have been trying to learn union-based SQL injection. But when you see that this part which says indexed journals, you'll see this part will get vanished when I'll put single quote in here. Single quote, and this part is vanished. And also you're getting the warning sign for MySQL numbers expected parameter 1 boolean, right? So right now you have been receiving the warning related to boolean, and as you can see that in our lab we also have the challenge named as boolean injection. So I believe the boolean injection should work into this URL, right? Let's go ahead and find some more. You're not logged in, that's okay. Okay, I believe zero single quote must be working in here, but anyways, we'll be trying that later on. Nothing is coming up here. Let's move it. Yeah, this more website that is named as asfa.org. Single quote. Single quote is showing me something else. If I remove this single quote, now if I remove this single quote, I'm not getting any any data in there. And then if I put the single quote in here, then I see the join us boxes showing up in here, which means a lot of things are getting fast into there. So I'm going to go a step ahead. I'm going to put ID equals to 2. Now they're getting Australia. Earlier they were getting Bangladesh. And I'm going to put the ID number 3. You're getting Cambodia in here. Let's go with 8. Indonesia. Oh, they are into a lot of countries right there. Iraq. Okay. So I believe they are showing me these kind of information. Let's write the ID that doesn't even exist, for example. Let's go ahead and try for 18th, getting the blank page. Right. And then if I put the single quote in here, then join us again. Okay, so they must be having the different SQL injection. I believe you can find here as cookie injection as well, or maybe the header injection. I believe the cookie injection must be working in there. So this is how you extract the SQL. Now I've been using this onto like the random websites, but okay, you have this on the PEML as well. Let me go ahead and put the single quote. Again, nothing is happening. All right. So this is how you find the IDs and these kind of different things. You go ahead and try for single quote, and into a lot of cases you see the error coming up related to the boolean, or maybe these kind of different things. In this case, the page is completely gone. So if the page is completely gone, I believe you should be able to find the boolean injection in this case, or maybe the time delay, since the page is not getting fast again. So I believe you must now be understanding that how, instead of putting a new number every time, we can use order by. You can use order by later on when we'll be try to extract the query later on, right? So first of all, you have to find vulnerable link, right? So this is the first thing that you're gonna have to do. So let's go ahead and jump on to our lab once again, and let's try to exploit our lab because this is the first thing that I wanted to teach you in here. So let me go ahead and close all of these URLs. And since we don't recommend showing the real life scenarios into the websites that is being owned by someone else into these courses, which is why I'm not showing you any demonstration related to it. So let's go ahead and try to breach our let's go ahead and try to breach everything onto the ID number 4. So you must be knowing something related to comments in PHP and SQL. So for example, you can just go for the different comment methodology, because right now we are breaking this row with the help of or you can say right now we are breaking this page with the help of single quote, right? So you have an SQL syntax error with this single quote, but let's try to join this query, because we have broken this query. But if I put the comment sign in here, that is dash dash, and if I again put it in here, then you can see that it is not yet fixed. In order to fix it, you can if this is not working like this, you can try something else, like putting a plus sign in here. So let's go ahead and put the plus sign here. Okay, so now you have this methodology in here, because this is also the union based SQL injections are basically of two types. One is the simple way, and the other one is that is the union based, you can say, right? So okay, one is the integer based into the union SQL injection, and to the union based, you can put or you can try joining the query. The first of all, first step is to break the query, right? So you break the query with the help of a single quote in here. I'm putting everything down here into these notes, so we can find the broken link with the help of a single quote in step 2. In step 2, you're going to have to join this query. So in order to join this query, you're going to have to use comment signs. And if it is the integer based, then in that case, you're going to have to use the plus sign as well, right? So this is a quick trick out there. No subtle logic behind this. But in order to, balance the query, you do this, right? So dash dash and plus sign. Now we have, joined this query right here, right? So I hope everything is clear to you all till here. If you have any problems, feel free to ask quickly, and then we are going to proceed further with it. Okay, seems like everything is fine and understood till here. Instead of putting new number, okay, everything seems clear in it. All right. So I believe now we are done joining our query. The next thing we are going to do is that we are going to find out that how many number of columns are there, right? So how many, side note, next up we are going to find that how many number of columns are there, right? So on to the step 3, we are going to do this with the help of order by, right? So with the help of order by, what you're gonna do, you're gonna find the different IDs again and again, and you're gonna see that how much columns are there. So for example, you're gonna go with the hit and trial methodology. That's the only way to go ahead and try this. For example, if you won't be able to find the number of columns, then you won't be able to extract the data from the exact you can say the column, because first of all, knowing the number of columns is really important out there, right? So you're gonna go with finding the column with the help of order by, like someone was suggesting me over the chat. So you're gonna go ahead and write these things again and again. For example, you are going to write here right after the single quote, you're gonna write here as order by. So I'm going to go with order by 1, right? So if I hit enter after order by 1, then you can see that that bit is coming up again and again, and seems like nothing is broken in this web page. Everything looks fine and smooth in here. If I go with order by 2, then again, maybe the order by 2 exists as well, which is why it is showing me Brad Pitt in here again. Let's go with order by 3, not working. Order by 4, still I'm getting the data. I have to break this data basically. That's my ultimate aim with the help of order by. I'm gonna go with order by 5. Order by 5 is coming up here again, showing me the data. Order by 6 is showing me data as well. I'm gonna go with order by 7. Okay, there we go. There we have found the breakpoint, right? So first of all, we gotta have to find the breakpoint. So with the help of order by, find the breakpoint in columns, right? So I found the breakpoint in column Like for example, when I was hitting order by 1, I was getting the data. When I was hitting order by 2, 3, 4, I was getting data in all the cases. But when I go ahead and try for hitting the order by order by 6, then I was getting the data as well. But when I was hitting order by 7, then I was not getting any data at all. So which means that the number of columns that I have in this case is how much? They are 6 number of columns in this case, because my query is breaking exactly at 7. So 1 minus 7, exactly a step back to 7. That is going to be a step back before the breakpoint. You're going to have to deduct 1 from the breakpoint, that is 7 in this case, which means you have 6 columns out there. Now you're going to have to select all the columns all together so you can find out the vulnerable column out there. And I've given you a quick demonstration few minutes back, which means if you're going to hit the same queries there, you're getting any kind of SQL syntax error. That means that all of these queries that I'm writing right now is going to work as well. And there is nothing like you won't be able to find these kind of bugs, because we have found this bug on SBI like an year back. Like no, it's been like 2 years back, Indigo an year back. And still a lot of people are finding SQL injections out there, because people are still using SQL out there into a lot of places. Even the Facebook has been using SQL injection from quite a long time, and now they are using no SQL, that is not only SQL, and they are going on to a very different level of programming altogether, you can say. But now what I want to do is that I want to find the vulnerable column, because I find that there are 6 number of columns, but which one of them is the vulnerable one? So the next step is find the vulnerable column, right? So in order to find the vulnerable column, you gotta have to select all of these 6 columns, right? So in order to select all of these columns, you're gonna go with something that says union all select, right? So you're gonna do the union, which will basically show you the vulnerable column, and it will be showing the vulnerable column when you'll be doing the union of all the columns that you have found. So you have found union all select, and then you're gonna write down all the columns one by one. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the 6th one, right? So you're gonna hit enter, and we are not able to see anything in here. And I believe union all select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 getting in here. Should be getting it. Let's see where we have done anything wrong in here, or union all select 1, 4. Okay. I guess everything seems right in here. Okay. So now the thing is, from my experience, I guess this query is getting unbalanced, because let me extract this URL and let me give you a quick study of it, that how it is getting unbalanced, right? So now this is getting unbalanced because I've inserted the comment in here, that is okay, the space is considered as %20, and the single quote is considered as %27 into the URL encoding, you can say, of a browser. So when you'll be pasting these kind of links into your notepad, then you'll be seeing these things out there. So make sure you don't get confused by looking at %27 or %20 maybe. Okay, so now you have this thing in here. Okay, so what we did the comment for this hyphen sign, and this dash sign is what we are using for comment. But we have because it was integer based, so we have applied one plus sign in here, which made the query to go unbalanced, right? But we all know that negative positive cancels them up. So which is why if you have, added one plus in here onto your right hand side, then on to the left hand side, I repeat, onto the left hand side, you're gonna have to put one negative sign in here as well in order to balance the query, right? If you have the plus sign, if you have added the plus sign in here, then you gotta have to use the negative sign in here so that they can cancel out, and they can basically go with our very old rule, that is RHS equals to LHS. Now, how am I getting the query reply of these queries into the SQL injection in front of my web browser? The reason why I'm getting this, because this is my left hand side of the query, right? And I am keeping it equal to the right hand side, but I'm not showing any of these query to my server because I'm commenting the right hand side part of mine into the SQL query out there, right? So which is why they are not able to show this up into the URL directly to the server, because they have been commented out, but into the comments they are giving a lot of responses that are related to SQL, you can say, right? So you can see that this is right here, and I'm going to do this exactly same thing in here, the negative sign in here, right? So when I put the negative sign in here, now I'm not, getting any numbers displayed in here. That is 5 and 6 in this case. So I believe that the column number 5, or you can say the column number 6, is the vulnerable one, right? So we are going to extract a lot of things into these columns right here, right? So we are, going to dump the information of database onto these vulnerable columns that are displayed here. That is 5 and 6 in this case. Now, before you get started, you have this, a simple methodology that you need to understand. For example, okay, so let me just complete this query so that you can just copy it later on and can execute it while looking at the notes. So I've used order by to find the vulnerable column. With order by, right? So now you can see that we are on step 3, and this brings us to the conclusion that the vulnerable columns in this lab are exactly into the web page. Also, you are going to see the number here or there, maybe into the header, footer, or maybe onto the blank web page, or maybe on, like, it could be, these numbers could be anywhere onto the web page. So vulnerable columns in this case are 5 and 6, right? So you have this 5 and 6. Now what happens? You need to understand one more thing out here, right? So I'm going to take my notes up and let me save that so that it can be preserved. So I'm going to name them as SQL injection notes. All right. So now with this conclusion, you're going to have to understand one more methodology that is really important out there. So you go to college, right? And when you go to college, you see that you have a lot of data. Your college is having a lot of data related to a student, right? And in that data, they usually take your name, or maybe you can say your contact info, or maybe your ID proofs. So basically that's what they keep. If you would like to make a database of it, what will I be doing? That I'll be making a database, or you can say I can treat college as a database where you have table, and inside the table you have rows. Now I hope this will make much sense to you. For example, the college's database, you have a lot of students, right? Which means you have a lot of tables. Inside the tables, you have rows. What are those rows doing actually? So basically, they are storing the information, for example, name, contact info, ID proofs, right? Which also brings us to another conclusion, that, first of all, you're going to have to hunt for database, right? In order to hunt for the database, you're going to have to know about the name of that database, right? And in order to know about the name, after knowing the name of that database, we'll be able to find the table. For that, again, we're going to have to find the table name as well. And then we're going to have to find all the information that are stored inside the rows as well, right? So this was a quick information that I wanted to give you. Apart from this, we have been hearing a lot about schema, right? So you have this schematic structure of all of these database, or you can say all of these architectures right there. So what next you're gonna have to do is that, so if I make you understand a quick methodology of information underscore schema. So that's what you see quite a lot over there. So information underscore schema. So this is right here, and information underscore schema keeps a lot of tables and columns inside, right? So information schema is basically setting up their architecture, right? So if I want to call a table name, right, how will I call that? So in order to call a table name, you really need to learn that you can call a table name with the help of information underscore schema. And in this case, you can also say that it is being called as a class of information schema, where you have a lot of information stored. And we have been all witnessing that even into the CSS, you call the IDs with the help of pound sign and the classes with the dot sign. So we are going to find the information underscore schema dot tables, and then you have this object over there that is table underscore name, right? This must be looking like a little bit of jargon to you, but let's take a quick look again in order to understand that what does this actually defines. Let me remove the extra n. All right. So information underscore schema dot tables is the address of, like, for example, if I tell you that, hey, bring me that book, but you need to bring that book from where? So you need to bring that book from the library. So into the library, you're finding a book, but which book is that? Now, this is the name of that book. So this was a quick example in order to make you understand. I repeat this example that, hey, bring me that book. From where section? Where can I bring your book? You'll say, or maybe I'll say that, hey, bring me that book from library, right? So this is the library, because information underscore schema is keeping all the records, like I mentioned you few minutes back, right? So I'm gonna say that information underscore schema dot tables has the information related to tables, but there are a lot of tables. You want to call which table? You want to take which data from a lot of these tables where you have a lot of data stored inside your SQL database. In that case, I'm going to tell you that, hey, bring me the book named as Purple Cow, right? So I've given you the name of that book, Purple Cow, by which you were able to go into the library and you were able to get the book named as Purple Cow, right? So in this case, you were able to go into the library and you were able to take the name of that book, right? So this is how you gather the information over there. Same thing goes, like I told you, that first of all, we are going to find out the name of the database, and then we are going to find out the name of the table exactly in this way. But next up, you gotta have to find the column name as well that are there into the rows, or basically you can write here as columns. Table and columns. So you have database, inside the database you have tables, and inside the table you have columns, or you can say rows. Okay, so this was the methodology to extract the name of table. Now we are going to learn that how you can go ahead and write here as information underscore schema. I believe nobody must have taught you SQL injection in such a detailed manner. I've been doing this because, you know, I've actually won the reward regarding it onto the Facebook. I have won like $2,700 by, you know, cracking down this SQL injection bug, which is why it is still one of my favorite one out there. So which is why I'm clearing all your basics so that you don't get stuck up on your basics actually, which is really important out there in information security. All right, so information underscore schema. This time I was talking about column. So I'm going to do everything exactly like I've been doing in this case. So I'm going to copy this line and instead of table, what I'm going to write here as columns. There is one more thing. Like I told you that there are a lot of tables, and there you're going to have to, define a name of that table, and then you'll be able to, take the data from that table. So which is why you're not gonna write here as table. You're going to write here as tables. And here you are going to write here as table underscore name. Exactly in that way, you're gonna write here as columns in order to extract the columns. And here you're gonna have to write here as column underscore name. So this is our, this is our next target. We gotta have to extract the name of database, and after extracting the name of database, you gotta have to extract the name of you can say table and these kind of things, right? Okay, so first of all, you're gonna find out the name of database. Can anybody suggest me that what could be the name of database, or you can say how to fetch the name of database? And just giving you a quick head starter, tip that the name of the database is master. So let me see if I've got any of the quick response. Okay, Sayan Basu, I'll just drop me a ping on Instagram. I'll be giving you the WhatsApp link, or just shoot me an email on seksham@ineuron.ai. To which location I need to copy SQL master folder from Git, because okay, so you just need to go into the htdocs, and inside the htdoc, just drop your SQL zip file, extract it over there only, and just call it by the name of localhost / and then the name of that folder, that is SQL-master. All right. So now our ultimate aim is that we need to extract the name of database. So in order to extract the name of database, let's jump back onto our lab. Okay, so now you have this 5 in here. Instead of 5, you're gonna have to write here as the database and keep it in a function. So when you'll be calling the database as a function, it will automatically take up its name. So now you have noticed that what I did, I just, it was like this. I removed 5. I removed 5 because I know that with the number of 5, or you can say either number of 6, I can get the data, and I can get any data that I want, right? Because SQL is practically responding me in this case. So what I'm going to do here is that instead of 5, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to write here as database. And I'm going to hit enter. When I hit enter, now you cannot see 5 anymore. Now you're just seeing that how I'm, shooting queries to SQL, and it is, showing me and fetching me up a lot of sensitive details related to database, right? Okay, so instead of 5, I'm getting the name of my database, that was master. I can also do one thing. I can also get one more thing. Instead of 6, I'm going to know that what is the version of my database. So I'm going to put version in function as well. So I'm going to hit enter by hitting up the version, and I'm going to hit enter. Now we have achieved 2 things in this case. We have successfully extracted the name of our database, and we have also successfully extracted the version of database. So in this case, the name of the database is master, and also the version of the database is 10.1.32 MariaDB, right? So I'm going to copy all of this, and I'm going to put it over my notes in here. So step 4, extracting the name, extracting the name of database and version of database, or you can say DB. So in order to do that, you're gonna have to instead of 6, you're gonna have to put database function in here. And instead of instead of 5, I've written the database function on here, and instead of 6, I've put in the version in here. So now you just have to watch it right now. Don't try it right now because if you're watching this as a recorded lecture, then you may pause the video and you can try all of these steps side by side. Else just have a look at it right now. If you feel like you have any doubt, then feel free to ask. Else you just follow these kind of steps and you'll keep on getting the outputs. And also we have our exclusive Skype support that is top notch, definitely. And we also have the WhatsApp group going on, so you can put up your doubts over there. We are pretty swift in solving up your doubts. All right, so now what we have achieved. Now what I can say that I've successfully extracted the database name, that is master in this case. So till now we have achieved a lot of things. We have successfully configured our SQL lab. We have used SQL version 5.x. So I mean XAMPP version 5.x. So the first thing is download XAMPP 5.x, right? And then you have this link in here in order to download XAMPP. Then we have taken a quick refresher of what exactly the SQL is. Then we have we got to know that how to hunt for the vulnerable link. In order to hunt for the vulnerable link, I would like to give a single quote. Then we learned that how you can join this query, right? You can join the query with the help of plus on the right hand side and negative sign on the left hand side. Just for the knowledge that this is hyphen is used for comment, and the plus sign is the integer that is given extra as a trick because it is an integer based injection, and plus on the right hand side, then the negative on onto the left hand side as well, like negative exactly like this. Negative here, plus here, and it will eventually cancel it, right? Then we have learned to find the breakpoint in columns, right? We were trying a lot of order by 1, order by 2, 3, 4, 5, hitting it till the time you don't get unknown column error. Once you get the unknown column error, that means that is the breakpoint of the columns, which means you have certain number of columns over there. Then you try to find out that how many columns are there, which means there were 6 columns in this case. So I have done the union of all of these columns, like union 1. Doing the union by selecting all the columns will fetch me the vulnerable column. So I'm going to go with union all select, and then you're going to go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just till 6, because in this case, in our lab, we have found 6 vulnerable columns. In the real life website scenario, you'll see that you'll find a lot of these things. And it's the high time that you first of all try this kind of attack onto your lab, and then try hitting it onto the live websites like I've shown you onto the Google Docs few minutes back, right? So now you're gonna you're gonna balance your query with this RHS equals to LHS rule by adding the plus and the minus, because in order to join the query you have added the plus in here, but in order to balance the query you're gonna have to put minus in here. Then we were able to when we tried doing the union of all the columns that were starting from 1 to 6, then you were able to see that we have the vulnerable columns that was 5 and 6 that was broadly and brightly displayed onto the web page. And then we understood this fact that, suppose if you take college as your database and then your student as your table, then you'll be able to find your information inside the columns, or you can say rows, where you have further information that are name, contact info, and ID proofs, which means this also concludes that if I want to find the ID and the passwords of users, that must also be stored into this rows, you can say, right? So in order to find the ID password of the admin, you can say, or if you're able to find the ID password of admin panel, which is quite easy into the case of SQL injection. I've already taught you that how to, find the different links that are associated onto the same website, which will also extract the link of admin panel. And there you can easily put the ID password that we are about to extract with the help of SQL injection. So in order to extract the ID password of the admin, or you can say the super admin, which are stored into the rows, or you can say the columns, first of all, you're going to have to find the database name, which we have successfully achieved, that is master in this case. And then we have been, looking to hunt for the table name next, and to the rows name of the rows next, right? So in order to understand that, we have also found this another theory behind the SQL injection attack, that you have all of these schematic structured stored inside your information underscore schema. Now, this file always exists into the SQL database, you can say, where it is storing a lot of tables and columns. And another fact that I've given you about the example of library. For example, if I tell you that, hey, bring me that book, but if I'll not tell you that you need to bring that book from which library, or you need to bring that book from your friend or library, or you need to bring which book from that library, you won't be able to bring a book for me. Exactly like that, if I'll not tell you that you need to bring a table name from which library, that is information underscore schema, which is keeping all the records, which is why I'm calling information underscore schema. Then I'm calling a class that is called as tables, by which I'm extracting the name of table, which I'm about to do. We haven't yet done it, but into the upcoming steps, we are going to do this. So next up, we are going to extract the table name and the column name. So if we are going to extract both of these things, then practically with the help of knowing the name of database, that is master, that we have extracted few minutes back, we'll be able to extract the whole database, or you can say we can dump the whole database, right? So we have extracted the database and the version as well, but version is not at all important, or version is not at all used by joining or firing any SQL query, which is why I have only extracted master in this case, which is the name that was popping up as the name of database in this case. So since like I told you that, knowing the version isn't useful out there, but just out of curiosity, I've told you that how to use the version. So I'm going to put 6 in here back, 5, 6. Okay, seems like I'm gonna be putting the 6 in here. So my web page is looking somewhat like this, but the owl is still staring me in order to, extract a lot of things right here. But right now it's 4:23, so we are going to take a quick 10 minutes break for now. We have learned a lot related to SQL till now, but little bit more excitement is still left, because we haven't yet dumped the username and the password of the super user. So we'll be doing that real quickly after taking a quick 10 minutes break. I'll see you all once again exactly at 4:35. Till the time, take a quick break, ease, peace, have some water, and be back by 4:35 p.m. All right. All right, folks, welcome back. So now we are going to proceed further. Any other methods? Okay, let's take a quick 2 to 3 minutes Q&A, and then again, we are going to get started with hunting the name of tables and you can say the columns. Okay, it is showing as no database selected. No database selected. First of all, you directly don't have to go here, Manidhar. First of all, you gotta have to click on to the start module, and then you gotta have to click on start learning. Then it will then it will drop the database. As soon as you will click on start learning, after clicking on start module, then it will drop the database named as master, which is why I have inserted that button over there. And then you won't be able to see the problem saying no database selected. I'm using XAMPP. Yeah, it should run on that. Okay, any other methods other than database or version which can be useful for us? Basically, we just want to extract the name of database, which is why you're going to go with the database function only. So yes, we are now going to proceed with the upcoming methods that are going to be useful for you. I copied the SQL master inside lamp ht docs while calling it in browser getting not found. Make sure you start your SQL services by // in case you're using Linux, // and then the name of your XAMPP. There must be also a file inside the lamp folder named as .run file, I believe, which will show you the manager, and there you can start your MySQL and Apache services. Is it legal to check SQL injection on any random website? Yeah, you're just doing the information gathering. You are not exploiting anything, so I don't believe it will be any problem for you. Okay, so these were the quick questions that were being asked a few minutes back. And now we are going to get started on how to dump the whole database. So I think we should keep our class till here today only, or we'll be completing the union. Okay, was my audio coming all fine, or it wasn't coming? Just give me a quick response because it says you are muted. Okay, so we are done till here. Now, in order to extract the database, right? Okay, seems like I'm getting the quick audio Q&A. Okay, audio quality is good. Okay, chat is disabled. Chat is disabled intentionally by our team, actually. So, which is why I was, easily able to answer the questions into the Q&A section only, which is why they have disabled the chat in this case. Okay, so now next up, like I suggested you that we are going to extract the table name. So in order to extract the table name, it's quite easy out there. What you're gonna have to do is that instead of now we have achieved that, we are getting all the information into the column number 5 and 6. So I'm gonna put the 5 again, and you can see 5 coming up here again and 6 coming up here again, which says union all select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? Next up, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to know the table name. So in order to know the table name, instead of 5, because I want to show the table name here instead of 5, so I'm going to put here as table name, table underscore name. Let me take you back through our notes of SQL injection. Like I told you that I'll be knowing the table name. From where? From information underscore schema dot table. So this is what I'm exactly going to write. Instead of 5, I'm going to write here as table name. And then I'm simply going to write at the end of the query that, hey, show me the table name from information underscore schema dot tables, right? So let's go ahead and try to find this. So instead of 5, I've written here as table name. From where? From information underscore schema dot tables, right? This is what we have written over there into our notes few minutes back. Let's cross check it. So I'm gonna write here as table underscore name information underscore schema dot tables, right? This is what I've written here. So let me go ahead and try this real quickly. Okay, it says unknown table in information underscore schema. I guess I must have done something wrong with the query. So union all select 1, 2, 3, 4, and then table underscore name in here, and then you have 6 from information underscore schema. Okay, so this is something that I've done wrong here. Remember, I told you that you're gonna have to put tables in here, like tables, because you have a lot of tables in here, and table name as a singular. So what I did here is that a very common pitfall that I forgot to put S in here, right? So in order to get one table name out of a lot of tables that are stored inside information underscore schema dot tables, I'm going to put enter in here, but I am getting a table name that is called as all plugins in here, right? I am getting this in here, but you must have also, if you have been from a little bit of programming background, or if you have done a little bit of maths, then you must be knowing about a function that is called as putting up a limit, right? You can put the limit by defining it in the end, right? But for that, you're gonna have to give the name of you can say the name of the database that was mastered in this case. So in the end, you can also put here as schema.tables table schema table underscore schema. Okay, table underscore name. Okay. Information from information underscore schema. Okay, I'm gonna put one more thing right here, because remember, into the last step we got to know about the name of our database, right? So I also need to write here is where table underscore schema, right? This is one more thing that we put to here. We need to put here in order to join the query, is that where table underscore schema equals to, and then we need to give master as our database, right? So until here, you must be understood by the concept table underscore name from information underscore schema dot tables. Where is why we are putting where, because we'll be using this function where table underscore schema equals to master, right? We need to define the database name, right, in order to get the right authentication. Though we have got one of the table name in that case, but it will save us into the upcoming time. Or if you want to know about the limits, then we have been giving the x and y coordinates and their limits into the mathematics, exactly like that. You're gonna have to put the limit in here, and when we go 2 or 1, like it is going to be the address, like into the table number 2, get me the first row. So this is how it is going to be like. So when I put in here 2 or 1, you see the user agent in there. So you can see a lot of users in there. You can try playing it a bit. Okay, you can try playing it a bit by changing the limits. You can put 2 in here. You can still see the agent is here, which means I'm changing the wrong value to 1. I had to change this one. Let's go for 3. You can see users. Now, this is what is fascinating for us. We gotta have to hunt for users. If you'll be knowing that what are the details that are existing inside the table, that is users, which means we'll be able to get the email ID of your super admin, or maybe the normal user, or the user having the different kind of privileges. So we are more interested in getting the information that is stored inside the users. But this was a hit and trial thing over here, right? So I randomly took like get me the details from third column, maybe like second column, or maybe like from the first column. But this is not a subtle way out there. In order to get a subtle way, what we can do, we can use a different methodology that is called as concatenation, right? So in order to do the concatenation, what we are going to do is that we are going to do the group concat, right? So in order to do the group concat, what we need to do, we need to make one function that can be stored inside the group concat. Now, what is actually the use of concatenation? The use of concatenation is to get all of the things that are associated with it. Like, for example, what if I tell you that, hey, give me all the concatenated documents related to this user, which means get all the information regarding that, right? So we are going to do that. So right now we are getting, or you can say right now we are extracting only one table name. We want all of them all together, right? Which is going to be the easiest thing for us. It will be easier for us to decide that from which table name we can get some sensitive information for us that could be really useful or sensitive, or it could be really sensitive for us, or maybe for the website owners. So for that, we are going to extract all the table names all together. In order to do that, we use group underscore concat. So now I'm going to teach you one more methodology that is being already introduced into a lot of programming languages again. So let me first of all do this. Let me just copy this step and paste it into the resources so that you can try it later on. And this is going to be like fifth step. Okay, step number 5. So into the step number 5, what you're going to do, you are going to go with table name, and then you have given where table underscore schema equals to master. So now what you're going to do, you're going to go with group concatenation. So in order to implement the group concatenation, you're going to have to write here as group underscore concat. And then after doing this, you're going to have to define a function. So that's how you define the group concatenation. In this case, we can put this table name inside this function so that we can get the group concatenation of all the tables, right? So that's what we are going to do right here. So I'm going to put here a group concatenation. Group underscore concat. And I'm going to put it into the function. Right. So let's go ahead and try this. So if I do this, then I am getting no response at all in this case. Which means my group concatenation is not working at all. Group concat. Group concat, I guess group underscore concat, table underscore name should be shown, I believe, this way. Let me quickly check this query again. I believe it's getting because of this space. Still not getting it. Okay, seems like we have some kind of problem into this query. So let's go ahead and read this query again. That's for union all select 1 2 3 4, and then you have this group underscore concat, and then you have this table underscore name 6 from information underscore schema. Let me just have a look at it quickly again. So group underscore concat, and then the table underscore name getting completed in here. If it is showing one thing out there, then it should show rest of them as well. Union all select group underscore. There is something wrong that I must have done in here. From information underscore schema. group. Why is this group concat not working? I believe this is written in a right way, I believe. Group underscore concat table underscore name. Yeah, it should really show me the groups in here. Let me see if I have any of my old query solved in here. So maybe this must not be showing because of group concat. Maybe this must not be showing because of any of this web page or like something like that that we have been using. Union all select 1 2 3 4 group underscore concat. Okay, so here is the problem. We forgot to remove the limit. If we have the limit, then the group concat won't work. Yes, we have successfully extracted. So this happens, when you go ahead and try for these kind of, finding a lot of bugs, you get stuck sometime, but, just take a deep breath and, take some time out of yourself and, just read the whole query again with a cool mind, and then you'll be able to do it again. So this is the one method by extracting all the table names in a one go, is that I have just inserted group underscore table name and I've removed the limit because you can use only one of them, because it was getting a conflict, like it was also extracting the names from the limit, and then it was also extracting the name from the group concatenation, which made it to conflict with each other's function, which is why we were receiving this problem. But now when you'll just remove the limit function over there, and then just you do only with do it with only single methodology, that is group underscore concat, we were able to extract the table names. And now we can see that the table names are contact underscore ID. Now these are really important and the sensitive information that you should keep on noting down. So now we have, okay, so group concatenation. Okay, let me just give you a query of group concatenation into the next step, and then we'll be writing down the name of these things. Make sure you keep a very good eye and keep a high concentration on this session, because there are high chances that this can come up into your examination as well. Okay, so into the step number 6, you're gonna have to follow this query. And apart from this step number 6, what next up you're gonna have to do is that you're gonna have to go with group concatenation. Okay, you gotta have to write down that table underscore name, or you can say the table names that we have extracted by firing up this query, that is contact underscore ID, and then you have the tables named as referrers. Then you also have a lot of you have a table name that is called as user underscore agent. Make sure you write them down in a very neat place, because you're going to decide later on that in which table you're going to have to extract the data. Okay, so now you have this users is one of the most sensitive place where you can find a lot of sensitive things out there. So what next up we gotta have to achieve? Like I told you that first of all, you gotta have to extract the table and then the table names. No, first of all, you gotta have to extract the database and then the table names that we have just now extracted. The next up is the time of column. The step of column is super easy. Instead of tables, you gotta have to write down columns, and instead of table, you gotta have to write down column. So this is very easy out there. So right now, now we know that we want to extract the information from users, right? So what we need to do is that instead of table, we need to write here as column, because we are looking to extract the columns inside the users table. which seems quite interesting and the fantastic one to us, by which we can get the ID, password, and these kind of things. Instead of tables, okay, it was information underscore schema. Instead of tables, I'm going to write here as columns. So I'm going to write here as columns. Okay, columns where table underscore schema equals to master. Now, what next up we need to do here is that table name, we need to define the table name. Now we know the table name is users, right? This is the table name. So right now we don't need to write the name of our database here directly. We need to write down the name of the table from which we need to extract the data, that is users, where table underscore schema is equals to users, right? So when we hit enter, then again we are not able to see anything, which means that we have again done a problem with our query, you can say. So let me go ahead and try to find out the problem again. Column underscore name, information underscore schema dot columns. Table underscore name, columns where table underscore schema, it is not going to be there. It is going to be table underscore name, because we are giving the name directly of table. Okay, table underscore name. Let's hit enter once again. Yes, now we are very closer to extract the email IDs, phone number, city, login, and whatever the information that is stored inside the table that we have extracted. The table name, that is users, is right in front of us. And one of the best thing is that we are still using the concatenation methodology, which is why you are able to see all the ID, email, phone number all together at the same time. So now this is a very useful step out there. We have extracted few more informations, a few more important information right here. Okay, let me just close this notepad. And now we are moving on to step number 7. So this is the query for step number 7. Right. Now, the final step. Into the final step, we are going to extract all the information that are stored inside, inside the users table. So now you can see that inside the users, you have ID, email, phone number, and these kind of things. So now in order to achieve that, you're gonna make some edits in here. For example, I think right now I am more interested to extract the email and phone number actually. So instead of column name, since I can see the column name directly, right? So I can see the column name directly. I would like to put the column name instead of column name. I would like to put the actual column name, right? So the actual column name could be email, right? You have the email in here, right? So instead of column name, because we were using column underscore name because we didn't used to know the column names at that time. Now we know the column names. So instead of column name, I'm going to define the actual column. So this actual column name, we figured it out that it is email in this case. We want to extract the emails in this case, right? So we want to extract the group underscore concat underscore email. Now, rest of the things are not useful again. Or you can say I can extract the information instead of 6 as well. I'm gonna go with the group underscore concat of email, and then I believe I'm gonna do the group underscore concat of, let's try to do 2 group concat at a time, so that it could be really useful for you. So what if I now I don't need any of these information, right? So let me go ahead and remove this. Okay, so this is the query. So now on the first column, like instead of 5 was displaying on the first line. So here I'm going to do the group concat of email, so I can get all the email. instead of 6, I'm going to do the group underscore concat of passwords, you can say. So I'm going to go with password. So password is already mentioned in here. Like you can see, password is right here and email is right here. When you'll write city, login name, or like it could be anything, then it will be extracted. But I'm just showing you the example that what needs to be extracted in this case. So now we have done this thing. Now we have done the group concat. Okay, so now group concat email, group concat password. From where? Hey, from where? From just the column that we have found, right? That was for the users, you can say, right? So when I hit enter into this, right? So now you can see that the login name that I have, that I have, made while building this lab are displayed in front of you. That is abcgmail.com pqr. They were the Bear Grill. I used to watch Man versus Wild quite a lot at that time. So beergmail at the rate of .com. Random login name I've given here. The passwords are also here: Chaudhry, Khan, Jolly, Pet, and these kind of passwords. So these are the dummy users that I've created in this lab. I hope you are liking this lab quite a lot. But this is how you extract the ID password of any super admin, or you can say the super user by finding the SQL injection. So you can, achieve a lot of things related to SQL injection. You can first thing that you can do is that you can dump the whole database with the help of SQL injection. That is union based. That is union based in this case. So into the union base, you can find out, or you can dump the whole database. And secondly, you can also find out the username and the password of a super admin, you can say. And with the help of OSINT, you can say, you can find out the admin panel, like some of the people, or some of the e-commerce website. If you'll again into the URL, if you'll find the cart, then you'll be able to find the websites that are getting into an impact, or you can say in cart ID equals to 4 or 6 or somewhat like that. If you'll be doing that, then you'll be finding a lot of e-commerce website where it is easy to do the sublister thing, and knowing all the links that are associated to that website. If you'll know all the links, then eventually you will be able to know the link where the super admin is also logging and updating the things of that e-commerce website into their dashboard. So if that is happening in that website, then the SQL injection is also happening. So then now you know it pretty well, that how actually you can extract the password and the username of that super admin, or maybe the user with other authority. You're gonna have to find that where those users are stored, which means that you can also extract the usernames and the users, their details, and their email IDs, their phone numbers, and you can pretty much do all of these things with the help of SQL injection methodology. So this was all about SQL injection. This was a very detailed explanation of SQL union based. You can also, I also want to start Boolean based SQL injection today, but I think it will be a pretty heavy dose for you if I'll be teaching both the attacks today. It would be great if you can just try this attack once, or maybe like twice or thrice. I still remember when I was learning this attack with my brother, that you must be already knowing, Mr. Hitesh Chaudhry. So when I asked him that how to learn this attack, and I used to forget all of these steps, man. I mean, when I was trying this for the first time, I used to forget this, and I was asking him that how to remember these attacks. So actually, this was the methodology that was taught by him, and I'm taking it forward from here. And I've attached a lot of advanced resources. I've developed a lab onto it. So this was a quick explanation of all the methodology, and then after getting taught from him about all of these stuff, and then boom, everything was vanished from my head. Because you have a lot of steps involved in SQL injection. Then I told him that I'm not able to remember these kind of steps. Then he gave me a very blunt answer, that try these steps 8 times back to back on this lab. And that was quite boring for me. So I made eight individual text documents, and in which I was writing all the steps. And eventually things were making sense to me, which is how I'm able to teach you these kind of things in a very basic and in a very detailed manner. So this is going to be the assignment. If you want to remember this SQL injection for the rest of your life, make sure you just take a notepad and solve this lab 6 to 7 times at least, and then try your hands out onto the live website. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to extract a lot of things out of those websites, especially the e-commerce websites. If you are now there is a little bit of exception regarding this in this case, that you gotta have to find the union based SQL. In this, when you're just putting the single quote in there and you're getting the SQL syntax error in there, you gotta have to try the union based SQL injection. Now there are different SQL injections as well, which we are going to learn into the upcoming days, that are Boolean based, and the cookie based SQL injection is also there as a bonus. It is not mentioned into the curriculum, but still I'll be teaching you that how to go ahead and exploit the cookie base. So into the next session, we are going to learn about the Boolean based injection and the cookie based injection. But I believe it is a pretty heavy dose for you today in order to learn about SQL. So that's it for this class. And I'll wait for the next class so that I can get started with the Boolean based SQL injection only. And to your free time, if you're able to solve this, then you can try the different challenges related to this lab as well. I'll just make you walk through them. There are 1 to 7.SQL master. Okay, so here is the lab. So we have completed the union base today. We will be completing the Boolean injection in to the next class, and the cookie injection. You see, you have this cookie injection lab in here where you have the login name and password. You have this Boolean injection as well, which is a different Boolean based challenge in here. Even the owl is saying Boolean based. Into the union based, the owl will be saying union based. So these are the different challenges that if you want to upgrade your knowledge, you can try them as well as per your knowledge. Else, I'm going to teach you them for sure. So that's it for today's session. And if you have any doubts, I'm sitting right here, and feel free to ask them. And then we are going to get started. Okay, so do these function? I have problem on column 5 or 6. Nothing changes in web page. So this has been happening with me as well, Pratik, while doing the live demonstration. But I kept a little calm inside myself and tried finding again and again. I tried finding that what is wrong with my query, because this will happen like this only. But what happens, sometimes we forget to put some dash, or like sometimes we even give the extra space, and it is super sensitive out there. So just check your query once again, else I'll be providing the resources. You can just cross verify your queries that you have fired. Okay, S missed. Okay, I missed from the tables, which is why I was beginning there. So I'm unable to capture through Burpsuit. I'm also getting update in Burpsuit, but I'm unable to update it. That's okay. You don't need to update, but in order to, you can update it as well. There's no issue with that, but I don't think so. There must be a problem. Kotla Shashank. I mean, if you are facing such problem, make sure contact us on Skype, because if you have done everything right, then it should definitely capture your packets. If still it is not helping you out, then just connect with Mukesh over the Skype. Should have a function. What am I? Well, I'm doing fine. Okay. Can we remove the underscore from the group underscore concat? No. You're going to have to put group underscore concat for sure. DT. Okay, Puranji says, sir, if password is saved in hash format, how to decode? Okay, so remember into the starting, I gave you a quick introduction about the Burpsuit. There you have a module named as decoder. So yeah, you can decode them over there. How to prevent these attacks? Yes, we are going to talk about the prevention after we are done doing all the kinds of SQL injections. This lab will only support 5.x version of XAMPP. Yes, that's right. So can you give a short demo of Macintosh MN1? I believe Mukesh must have connected you on how to connect it with M1 chip. But if he haven't yet done this, then yes, I'm planning to post one of the demos, something like that, on M1 chip onto my YouTube channel. If the application is ORM tools, will these queries works? It depends. If they are using SQL injection, then you'll be able to find SQL injection. Okay, one thing more. We forgot one thing. You forgot to check, whenever I teach any kind of attack, just find it on h1.nob.de. Go ahead and find the SQL over there. And if there is any application using SQL, it can work over there. So if I just write SQL, see, people are still finding it on Basecamp, SAMrush, Mail.ru, Acronish, MTN, GitHub Security Lab. See, this is a lab that is hosted by GitHub, but still they have SQL over there. So SQL injection is over there. Kiwi, Mail.ru, Hyatt Hotels. Okay, and then you have node.js third-party modules also have SQL injection, and then you have PHP, IBB, and then you have the SQL injection on node.js third-party modules, and go ahead and you have this WordPress as well. Like you have this into the WordPress because they are also using SQL, so they must be having some plugin where they must be storing some data into the SQL, which is why. So go ahead and try checking out these reports. Till the time if you are not checking out the reports, then the learning is incomplete. Okay, few more questions. What if website does not show any error message? Does it mean it is not vulnerable? Then if it is not showing any message, but you'll observe a very small change in there. For example, you'll be witnessing some blocks getting vanished, or some columns getting vanished, or some images getting vanished, or you'll see some weird things over there for sure, British. Okay, Anand says in Weebly, when I tried user instead of root, I got it. Instead of root, I got it. Okay, yes, okay. You must be using root in order to use the Weebly tool. That's great. So how to find vulnerable web columns, like here it is 5 and 6. Order by. I guess, hi, Vignesh, you must have attended this class a little late. When you'll find the resource in notes, like in resource into the notes, you have these a lot of things related to called as order by. So see, let me put up the notes in here in order to make you understand this again. So in here, union all. Okay, before this union all, you go with order by, right? So you go with order by 1, 2, 3, 4. You keep on hitting order by till the time you get error which says unknown column clause or something like that. So if the column will not exist, then it will show us that error. Till the time you don't see that error, then you gotta have to keep on hitting on that. So you gotta have to find the breakpoint of the columns. So basically we are trying to find out that how many columns are there. So there could be like 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 30, 40. It depends on the website that how much columns their developers have created. So you're gonna have to find it till the time you find the breakpoint of it. Few more questions. Okay. Kindly send WhatsApp group link and Skype ID. Please email me on saksham@ineuron.ai and I'll just forward you the link of WhatsApp. And I guess Skype ID was Mukesh live hyphen Mukesh MAA8 or somewhat like that. I'll just forward you that as well. So lab not supports, no, it doesn't support 7.x version. I run the manager Linux.run in that after navigating to manage servers, MySQL ProFTPD are running, but Apache I tried stop and start again. So I believe Shubham, you must be having this port used by someone else. So try changing the port. So you can just go ahead and go here and into these ports. You can just go into the configuration. And you can just quickly change these kind of Apache ports, or you can just quickly Google up that how to change the Apache ports in here. So you can try, because as you can see, MySQL is also running on 3900, not on 8080. So yeah. So you will have to do the extra exception of finding that how to change the ports in XAMPP, and you're gonna have to YouTube that. So basically, use of SQL is anywhere where you have SQL database. If there is any application that is using SQL database, then there you can exploit the SQL injection. Can you recommend a few vulnerable website or labs where union-based attacks can be practiced? If you'll see the recording of this, you'll see into the starting, I showed you that a lot of if you'll go on Google and if you'll write in URL ID equals to 3 4 or somewhat like that, and then you hit a single quote over there, then you see SQL syntax over there onto those live websites. 100% these attacks will be working on their websites exactly the same way. So I hope, okay, I forgot to write the final step. Okay, so I'll be writing the final step in here, step number 8, and then I'll be providing you this as a resource. So you can just, find this out. So I believe, hope you have, enjoyed this class. All the questions are completed as well. So that's it for today's class. I hope you have enjoyed it. Into the next class, we will try to learn. Okay, let me tell you that what we are going to learn the next week. The next week, we are going to learn the rest of the remaining challenges of SQL, where you'll be learning about the Boolean-based SQL injection, and you'll be also learning about the cookie-based SQL injection. FYI, I'll be breaching the SQL injection cookie base with the help of burp suit again. And then we'll be learning about XSS, and then mostly our DBW attacks will be completed. So that's it for today's class. I'm sending you the resources straight away onto the WhatsApp group. The student who haven't yet got any kind of information of the WhatsApp group can email me on saksham@ineuron.ai. And also I'm going to publish a CTF video by tomorrow. So you can just check that out onto my YouTube channel. That is Saksham the Computer Guy. But that's it for this class. I hope you have enjoyed it. I'll see you again next week with another class.